Hey everybody, I'm Jonathan Randall, and welcome to How You Like Me Now, episode 5. Wow, I can't believe it, Phil. We've done 5 episodes. You know, 90% of podcasts don't make it past the 3rd episode, and we are on our 5th episode. Feels pretty good. We're doing it.
It does, man.
Right? We're making it happen. We haven't quit. We don't care if people are listening or not. I mean, I do care because I really want people to listen, but we're still pushing forward. We're still making the content. We're making it happen. 90% of you fuckers, screw you. We got what it takes. You guys didn't. A lot happening in the world, as always. Of course, everybody's talking about Kanye. I don't want to talk about him too much because, seriously, fuck that guy. But it seems to me that, like, Kanye is trying to form, like, his own Legion of Doom right now, right? He's got this fucking Nick Fuentes guy who's, like, horrible and says the Holocaust never happened. Then he's, like, going down to meet with Trump. He's meeting with Alex Jones. He's, like, sucking up to the ghost of Hitler to try to get him to join. I feel like Harvey Weinstein is just waiting in jail hoping Kanye's gonna break him out right now so he could join Kanye's horrible Legion of Doom. Anyways, speaking of Harvey Weinstein, you know, his trial is wrapping up right now, and actually a big part of the ending like arguments of his trial are all about his deformed penis, which is kind of like almost like poetic justice, I think. Like so apparently Harvey Weinstein has a really deformed penis. I think like his balls were actually removed from his sack and then like they were put into his leg or something, so he just has like a flappy sack. And I guess like this is one of the things that like these girls that are making these accusations, they're able to describe his horrifically deformed dick, so they know that like it was real, that he really did do this to them. Because, and that's horrible. Like, you know, like it's bad enough you're on trial for these things, but then like for the whole world to know that you have like a deformed penis. And I feel even worse for these girls. It's bad enough you're being sexually accosted by fucking fat, disgusting Harvey Weinstein. Then he's got some like weird ass dick. He's all deformed, like he's some Sin City character or something. It's absolutely disgusting. But I'm glad everybody can know not only how horrible of a human being Harvey Weinstein is, but he has a deformed dick too. I think that's great that that's going out there. I hope that guy gets locked away forever, and that, you know, and they make his Elon Musk makes his Twitter profile pic his deformed penis or something. Because I guess that was part of the thing that one of the women said, that like he made her like lick his sacky balls or something, and it was just like skin. That's all she remembered was skin. I know this is like I don't know like how to talk about the next thing now. I feel like I need like a palate cleanse or something after talking about Harvey Weinstein's deformed balls.
Just change the subject.
My balls are not deformed, by the way. I have perfectly normal balls. I think maybe they're a little sensitive. Like I am not into ball play at all. I feel like my balls are just too fragile. I don't trust women with them. They're very sensitive. Maybe a little cupping is the most that I'm into, but I have very sensitive balls. I don't want people touching or playing with my balls, and they're not deformed. So anyways, just talk about balls. Moving on. Moving on. Know who loves licking their balls? Dogs. And I don't like dogs, okay? We've talked about this before on the podcast. And, you know, I've mentioned this before, but one thing I really hate is when people are walking their dogs with the long leash. And, like, they're on one side of the sidewalk, the dog's on the other side of the sidewalk. They cannot give a shit who else is walking on the sidewalk. The term is keeping it on a short leash exists for a reason, because that's what you should do with your dumb fucking dog, okay? It's not just you and your dog's world. There are other people that exist, other people that are using the sidewalk, other people that are trying to walk that shouldn't be trying to manage or get around your dog. You should have enough control of your dog so it's not getting in the way of other people and bothering other people, you selfish assholes that think you and your dog are the only people that exist in the world and the only ones that matter. Don't like you. Okay, glad I could get a little bit of my anti-dog rage out. Now I want to talk about this movie I saw, this fantastic movie that I highly recommend. It's called Farha. It's a Jordanian movie, and it is about, it's a coming-of-age story about a young girl during the Nakba for those of you that don't know what the Nakba is, which means catastrophe, it happened in 1948, and that is the way most of like the Arab population, certainly the Palestinians, view the creation of Israel. They don't view it as, oh yeah, we created Israel. They view it as this catastrophe that happened to them and their people. And this movie takes place during that time. Now, of course, Israeli officials were not happy with that movie. They've been trying to shut down screenings of that movie. They've tried starting like campaigns like, cancel your Netflix subscription. We got to not get that movie out there. But thankfully, the Jews do not control that the media. And the movie is on Netflix. I watched it. Anyone can watch it. First of all, beautifully acted, very compelling story, and it's based apparently on true events. The director of the film is saying that this whole film is based on a story that was told to her by a friend of her mother's. That had gone through the Nakba and had been expelled from Palestine and went through this firsthand. It's a crazy story. It actually has a lot of similarities to the Diary of Anne Frank, which is kind of crazy considering, what the Jews went through and now what the Palestinian people have gone through, many at the hands of the Jewish people. Now, listen, I don't know if this story is exactly 100% correct, but I have seen documentaries about the Nakba that had similar stories that are even worse, and stories like this have been well documented by Israeli historians. So people that are just so quick to dismiss this movie, oh, this isn't true, like, stories like this happen. This is true, okay? In 1948, I know a lot of people just want everyone to believe that, like, oh, Israel was just created, and, it was all open land, and the Jews just came, and, they started their own country, but there were people living there, okay? And I know a lot of Israelis want to say, oh, well, the UN offered 2 states, but the Arabs didn't like how it was, divided, and they refused. So then the Israelis just, fought back and got Israel. It didn't go down exactly like that. There was a lot of horrible things that happened where these people were expelled from the land. In fact, such horrible things happened that the UN this week announced that next year they are going to commemorate 75 years since the Nakba by having a ceremony at the Grand Assembly. I got to get an invite to that, by the way. Which is really like awesome, I think, because it's about more time that people recognize this tragedy that happened to these whole group of people. For those of you that do not know, over 750,000 Palestinian people were expelled from their land, and over 15,000 were murdered during the Nakba. Now, these might not be 6 million numbers, but they're still huge numbers, all right? And I think it's great that the UN is going to commemorate the Nakba. I think it should be raising more awareness, and I think more people need to be educated. I had no clue growing up when I was going to Hebrew day school about any of these things, going to synagogue, what really happened, how Israel was really created off the backs and the deaths of the Palestinian people. And not only does everybody should know about this, but Jewish people need to know about this. Having Holocaust education for non-Jews is important, but also having an education what happened to the Palestinian people for the Jewish people is important. I think we are maturing as a society. I know we just celebrated Thanksgiving. And a lot of people are shifting Thanksgiving. Once it was viewed more as a celebration about kind of like the creation of a new land and us coming, the pilgrims coming to the Americas and being able to like eat off the land. But then it's become more and more clear that what Thanksgiving really is about people coming and wiping out, slaughtering the Native American people. And it's not so much, I feel like it's transforming the holiday from being something about like, we want to give thanks for almost giving recognition and paying respect to the people that died. And that's as important as it is for Native Americans and Americans in our country. It's even more important for Israelis and the Palestinian people and for Jews everywhere to know that the way that this land was created was not right and definitely not kosher at all. I just, I think it's amazing that the UN is recognizing this. I want more people to. Farha is on Netflix. I hope people should check it out. I mean, there are some scenes in that movie that will make you sick to your stomach. And I've heard some stories that are horrible and that, when the Palestinian people were being expelled from their land. They were not treated as human beings, and it was not done in the right way. And it's a shame on all Jews everywhere, actually, is what it's become. And unfortunately, the mistreatment of the Palestinian people is still happening right now. I mean, I feel like in the last week alone, over 10 Palestinians were killed just in the last couple days. You know, there are stories about how in the West Bank, people are protesting the demolition of homes. This is what happens. Israel comes to the West Bank and they say that these homes were built without permits, so they're going to destroy them. But Palestinians, it's nearly impossible for them to get the permits. So then people protest. And what do they usually do with their protests? Often when they come to demolish the homes, they will throw rocks. And of course, the Israel aggression to the rock throwing is to open fire and kill them. And that's what happened to a 21-year-old just about a week ago. And, you know, the Israeli officials, the IDF, they want to say, oh, he was about to throw a Molotov cocktail. But there is footage from the day, from the event, and it is not true. It is more lies that they are spreading to try to cover up their egregious human rights violations. So this 21-year-old, he was shot. He was throwing rocks in protest of a home being destroyed. This is where people live. Their homes being destroyed. I mean, I think throwing rocks to try to stop people from destroying a home is like not really like a huge thing that people could do. That's all they have. That's the only way they could express themselves. And lying, saying it was a Molotov cocktail, to just open fire and shoot him is just horrible and disgusting. And unfortunately, it's not like this is a one-time event. These things are continuously happening. Just the other day, a video is going viral right now about an Israeli security officer or something shooting point blank a Palestinian man. I've watched the video. Somebody sent me the video, and they're like, Jonathan, could you please speak about it? And then I've been doing research about it. And in the video, there is an Israeli officer. He has somebody in a headlock. There are other people trying to like get them apart. Then finally, the guy gets out of the headlock and he's like fighting with this Israeli officer. And then the Israeli officer pushes him to the ground and then just shoots him. Bam, 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 bam. Like right there, dead. Just like, it's crazy to see. And they want to say, oh, well, he was trying to stab the Israeli officer. There is footage. There's no knife in this guy's hand. Quit putting imaginary weapons in the hands of Palestinian people and saying that's why you murder them, when the fact is you murder them because you're all just trigger-happy assholes who are eager to kill these people, and you don't view them as human beings, and it's really awful and it's really disgusting. And it's no wonder that so many Palestinian people feel like violence is their only answer, because they can't do anything without getting killed. From what I understand of the story that just happened, the guy, an Israeli settler, with his car, did something to this guy. The guy hit the car. Then the Israeli settler tried to shoot him. And then, of course, the Israeli officers, they go after the Palestinian man, not the settler. The settlers who cause so much harm, who are an obstacle in peace, who keep coming and encroaching on Palestinian land, even though too much of the land has already been taken, and enough is enough. So another Palestinian is dead. And where are the headlines for this? I'm talking about it. But two 20-year-old Palestinian people are killed this week. Kids. They're basically kids, and no one really hears or knows nothing. So yes, it's about time that the UN commemorates and more countries and more people recognize what happened during the Nakba. And I really encourage everyone to go check out Farha and to do some research about the Nakba and what has happened to the Palestinian people. I will continue to speak out about the human rights violations that Israel does and continue to try to get peace between these two people that were cousins. We're basically the same people. We need to stop fighting amongst each other for land and unite. And, you know, I know in Israel now, there are these false, there's this guy, they're saying he's the Messiah. You know, he's the Messiah. He knows the Torah really well, whatever. I don't think he's the Messiah. I don't really believe in the Messiah. But even though I don't believe in it, I know in my heart, if the Messiah is real, it's not going to come as long as the Israelis are treating Palestinians the way they're treating them. And until Israel is not, you know, the streets aren't running with blood, but it's a place of peace and prosperity for peoples, it'll never come. Now, we got to change the vibe in here again, and I want to do it with Nerding Out with Phil. Nerding out with Phil.
Let's do it.
We got to do it. So this week for Nerding Out, I want to talk about movie trailers. This week was a big week for movie trailers. First, the new Indiana Jones trailer dropped, The Dial of Destiny. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
I know about that, though.
The trailer looks good. Spielberg isn't directing this one. James Mangold is directing. A little bit of a disappointment. I really wish Spielberg was directing. I guess he had enough of Indiana Jones. I don't know. It's horrible that he's not in it, but I'm still excited. Spielberg's back. It's got the chick from Fleabag is in it. I really like her. She's really talented. I'm not crazy. You know, they de-age Harrison Ford, you know, for some of the scenes they have, and they show some, like, you know, it's like CG. I'm not crazy about that. It doesn't look good, but I am a huge Indiana Jones fan. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, some of the best movies, and I am excited to see the new one. Check out the trailer. Another trailer that dropped this week. I don't know if you saw this one, Phil. Transformers Beast Wars.
Yes, I did.
You saw the Beast Wars
I'm excited
Transformers.
for that.
You're excited? It looks cool.
I mean, Beast Wars, I loved Beast Wars.
You loved Beast Wars.
Yeah.
I was never like so much into Beast Wars. I was more like into cars, and then I was like, wait, now they're animals? Like didn't like
that was like my first transform. That's what I got.
Beast Wars was your first Transformer.
Yeah, so I kind of, when I was a little kid, like, I didn't know there was a Transformers before Beast Wars.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Wow.
Like, I kind of did, I guess.
You're like, who's this Optimus Prime asshole?
Yeah, like the
I
name
see
Optimus
the monkey.
sounded super familiar. But I was just like, what? And then after Beast Wars was done, Transformers, you'd see the movies and all, you know, and like the shows and stuff, the older shows. Right. I was like, oh, it's a whole thing.
They got a whole thing. So, yeah, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, it's called. You know, Optimus is back. It looks like Bumblebee is in it. No Shia LaBeouf. I guess it's got the guy, I think he was in Hamilton. One of the guys from Hamilton.
Daveed Diggs, right?
Oh, no, not Daveed Diggs. He's not in it.
I know what you're talking about. The one who played Burr.
Oh, or maybe he was in West Side Story. He was in some of those things.
I gotta rewatch.
Okay, no, but he was in Hamilton too, and Pete Davidson is the voice of the new like his Bumblebee or something like that. Which that should be a little interesting. I'm curious, but the Transformer movies.
No shade.
I found them, and I mean, fuck, it's bad enough to get sex with every single woman that's like attractive. Now he's like in the biggest franchises too. You know, it gets to be in Transformers. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not like when you think of Pete Davidson, you don't think of like a thespian. You know, like he's a comedian. No. He's not. Well, I think Peter Cullen is the name, the guy who does the Optimus Prime voice. You know, such an iconic voice. And then Pete Davidson. But hey, I mean, I will definitely check it out. There's a cool scene where like the car is coming down the street so fast, and then like he transforms, and the guy just kind of like walks out so casually.
You know what I wonder though, with Beast Wars, and I always wonder ever since I was a kid, and I found out that Transformers was like mostly cars, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if they can transform into like animals and shit, why don't they ever just transform into humans and just live their lives not to be driven around by dumb assholes?
It's true, right? They had some like humanoid ones in some of the other Transformers.
Yeah,
but hey, I guess that no one wants to buy it like a Barbie that transforms into a car or something.
Yeah, yes,
I guess that because that's what Transformers are all about. It's all about the toys.
Yeah,
it's all about Hasbro and making the toys. So I mean, I was a huge Transformer fan as a kid. I enjoyed the first couple movies. Even the Mark Wahlberg movies, okay. Bumblebee, not so bad.
I never watched Bumblebee.
Okay, Bumblebee's pretty good. Love the girl who's in it. She's great.
Oh yeah, she's hot.
So I
wouldn't say that back then.
I will see Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and then the third trailer that dropped was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I can't wait for that.
Hopefully cleansing our palates from the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, which was fucking trash. So I'm excited to see. I do love the Guardians. I mean, the first Guardians movie, I think, is like one of the best Marvel movies, if not the best. My top 3 Marvel movies: Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor Ragnarok, and Infinity War. It's
a great movie in general.
Like, it's so good.
I feel like you could take it out of the MCU and just have made that movie, and that could spark its own franchise. Like if it would just been independently created.
Absolutely. Such a great movie. So they took these characters nobody really knew, nobody really cared about, made them household names. Really took Chris Pratt to another level as a star, you know, made him like a leading man. great movie, great cast. James Gunn's amazing. Now he's gone over to DC. He's going to be heading all the DC movies. This is, I guess, his last Marvel movie.
Did you hear about James Gunn and all this shit that they're like? Him and Kevin Feige went over there too, right?
No. Kevin Feige's still with Marvel.
Okay, so James Gunn's helming the whole thing then, right?
James Gunn and somebody else. He's doing it with someone
There's
else.
another guy, but supposedly he's been teasing that possibly the final movie in the DC, cinematic universe is going to be Kingdom Come.
I hope so. I love Kingdom Come. It is a great graphic novel.
Awesome.
Alex Ross, an incredible illustrator. The best illustrator. I mean, any superhero that he draws, just he makes them so real. So the humanity in them in his drawings are incredible.
He paints them.
He paints them.
Yeah, I heard like painted. A lot of those illustrations are like truly like painted.
Okay.
And that's why they have this level.
I love his work. I have a T-shirt of his of Jon Jones, the Martian Manhunter, who I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
And I would love to see a Kingdom Come movie. That would be amazing. I read the graphic novel. I thought it was really good.
Speaking of Jon Jones, are you excited for Young Justice season 5?
Is there another one? I just watched a Young Justice season. Is there another season coming
so there's
out?
another season coming out.
No, I think this is the last season is the one that I watched already.
Yeah, so they were gonna cancel the show because remember HBO Max got rid of a bunch of different entities that they were making. But I actually believe James Gunn and like somebody else were like talking about it and this, that, and the third, and it's getting one final season.
Okay, because I just watched the last season about like magic. Did you see the one with all the magic?
Yeah, I've seen the whole.
The last episodes were pretty cool with
really
the magic. Good. I love Zatanna. She's amazing. I hope she gets her own
overarching
movie.
Vandal Savage.
Yeah,
storyline.
Vandal Savage is a great villain. So yeah, I am. I do love Young Justice. I think it was great. The last season, I wasn't so crazy about the first half. The second half, when it got more magic, I thought it was like a lot cooler.
If I'll be honest, it's like one of those things. Like, and I'm a very liberal person. But it's like the show sometimes would almost be like too liberal or like too inclusive.
Yeah, this last season, it's like, why does everybody have to be like
why is gay
or trans or something?
It's
like what
weird.
Is like let's
it's
bring
like
it down a notch.
Like
Young Justice.
We know all that's great. Like none of us are fighting it. Don't worry. You know.
No, I mean, I'm a big Young Justice fan. I had read some issues of the comic. Actually, when I was in college, I actually took a children's writing class, and we had to like pitch a script, and I pitched a script for a Young Justice cartoon show. And then they ended up making it years later, and one of the best animated DC shows. I mean, of course, Batman the Animated Series was at the top of that, but even the Justice League was pretty good.
It's in that
but the Young Justice is really good, and it's really amazing how they have the young heroes, they have the older heroes, and everybody's just all involved in everything that's happened in the DC universe. So yeah, I'm excited about that. With the one thing I think that's a little with the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, it's kind of crazy, is they have the song, In the Meantime by Space Hog. And I feel like if you put that song to anything, it feels epic. Phil, what I want to do is, could we cut up a little trailer to this episode using that song in the background? Can we try to do that? I just want to prove how any if you put that song, because James Gunn is really good with music, and the soundtrack for the first Guardians is incredible, and the trailer's amazing with the song. Of course, with the holiday special, all the music was just bullshit and it sucked, and it was just a long music video for a horrible band that I don't know, his friend in high school or something had a band and he did it. It was really bad. But yeah, it's funny because just with the music when it comes out, you're just you're like, oh yeah, anything can happen, and they'll say one line, and it's oh my god, it's so dramatic, but it's just because it has that music in the background.
Well, dude, they're famous for that. I mean, I still remember when their trailer came out for the very first one, and "Hooked on a Feeling" doesn't sound like an epic song, you know what I mean? But you're seeing all this crazy shit while these people are going ooga chaka, ooga, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it just fucking hits, and it's
works.
wow, this is perfect. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely down to make that trailer. We'll probably get flagged for copyrights, but
All right, it'll be fun.
But I'll make that trailer.
You know, speaking of movie trailers, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but now all of a sudden they have like a trailer before the trailer. Like before they show you the movie trailer, they show you like a couple key frames from the trailer, like the best parts, the most action-packed parts, and then they show the trailer. We don't need a trailer for the trailer. Just it's bad enough that we have the trailers that give away like some of the best parts of the movie. Just show the goddamn trailer. We don't need like 5 seconds of the best clips of the trailer. We just need the fucking movie, actually. But like the trailer's enough. Like why is the trailer before the trailer before the trailer? Like it's too much. Just stop.
I agree, dude. I feel like there's been TV shows with that problem too. Like Battlestar Galactica used to drive me crazy with that.
Where they're like doing what happened before the episode?
No, they're doing what was going to happen in the episode before the episode. And I'm like, I'm saying all the key plot points in the first 30 seconds, you know?
No, right?
What the
That's
fuck,
what happens
man?
with the trailers. Like even like with the Transformer trailer, like we talk about that cool scene where he like the car's going fast and then he transforms and he walks out so casually. Like they show that before the trailer, and then you're like I don't need to see this. All right, like how many times do I gotta what is happening right now? The trailer's short enough. We don't need a shorter version of the trailer. I know our attention spans are shit these days because we're all hooked on TikTok and social media, but we don't need a trailer for the trailer. Anyways, I'm Jonathan Randall. Check me out on Instagram at Jonathan Randall. Check the podcast profile out. How You Like Me Now podcast. Check out my website, thatjonathanrandallguy.com. Thanks for listening. How You Like Me Now.